the rotational plan. Now let's talk about the rotational plan. The rotational plan is a guide that helps one understand the importance of rotating the extensions and when. So firstly, let's explain the basics. There are 3 stages of the hair's life. This first stage is the initial birth of the hair. This second stage is the lifespan of one person's hair. And the very last stage is the end of the hair's life. Now, the only difference from person to person is stage 2. Stage 2 varies from person to person. The simplest way I can explain it is some people can grow their hair to their shoulders and have never experienced growing it any further than that. And some people can grow their hair down to their knees. Now, this basically means that stage 2 in some people can grow up to 2 years. So the lifespan of one's hair can grow up to 2 years and then simply fall out. Then some people can grow their hair down to their knees and then the hair will fall out. So as you can imagine, the rotation of one's hair can vary from person to person. So some people shed hair rapidly and some people don't shed so much hair. So the rotational plan will vary from person to person. So here we have an extension that's been installed on the very first day. Now, as you can see, we've used the figure 50 as an example. So 50 strands are used here today to install the extension for the very first time. Now, in 4 weeks, you want to invite the client back to actually see the extensions and how they're performing. Now, it's also a good time to indicate on how much hair she's actually shedding. So if she's shedding quite a bit of hair, I would say every 4 weeks would be a good time to get her to come back for resurfacing of her hair extensions. If she isn't shedding a lot of hair, well then maybe she could have gone for an extra couple of weeks, making it 6 weeks, or in some people even 8 weeks. So usually the first cycle is a good indication on how much hair that client actually sheds. So based on your findings after the first cycle, the client's returned will determine on her rotational plan or her maintenance schedule. So we've installed the extensions on the very first day and we used 50 strands as an example. Now, if the hair is shedding, the extension is holding on to less hair. So let's use 40 strands as an example. So the extensions are holding on now to 40 strands of hair. Ideally, you'd like to remove those extensions and reapply them to 50 strands again. Now, in the meantime, as the client is shedding hair, her new hair is growing, indicated here in the blue. So let's talk about what happens if we don't get that hair in time and let the extensions hang on to not enough hair, or basically not rotate the extensions at all. This information is vital to end consumers. Most end consumers you'll find are quite receptive to understanding on how their hair rotates and why the extensions need to be rotated. This creates a great relationship and ongoing visits to the salon. Here's another pictorial demonstration on what it would look like as hair starts to shed and the extension runs out of hair to hold on to. As you can see, there is a rapid decline in the amount of hair holding that extension. Simply remove the extension, comb out the customer's molting hair, regroup more hair, and reattach the extension. This is another example of not enough hair holding the extension. This is a typical Bond extension that has been left in too long. Again, running out of hair and causing stress is not good. So in order to avoid any stress on anyone's hair, it's vital you rotate the extensions on her own natural rotational cycle of her hair. So if she rotates hair rapidly, you get her to come in on a rapid rotational cycle. If she rotates hair slowly, you get her to rotate her hair on a slower rotational plan. So as you can see, again, removing it from 40 strands and reattaching it to an additional 50 strands once again. This next video covers a few tips and tricks. We use a larger micro ring in these videos so you can actually see what's going on. And we usually recommend removing 2 or 3 extensions at a time. Once all the hair is removed, you can simply spread the hair apart and give it a good comb. You can then proceed to rebead. Now, we're going to demonstrate here in this particular section on how not to put the extension in too tight. You can simply put the extensions in too tight and too close to the scalp if you're not careful, like so. As you can see, I'm holding the extensions up and close, and there you go. If I lift that extension up at any angle, you can actually see that it's pinching underneath. That's too tight. That's going to create pinching underneath. It can't swing freely. In this next video, I'll show you how it should be. This extension is installed a little further away from the scalp and can swing a little freely without creating any stress.
3 stages of hair growth.
For your convenience, I have posted this file, the 3 stages of hair growth, on the right hand side of this screen. Click on the hyperlink and it will download this file, and you can have a read through it in your own time and learn about the 3 different stages of hair growth. The 3 stages of hair growth is important to understand. Some people are able to grow their hair for 5 years and down to their knees, and some people can only grow their hair down to their shoulders. So the people that can only grow their hair down to their shoulders would obviously be visiting you for a rebead and slide more rapidly. And the person that can grow their hair down to their knees without a problem generally means they can go longer between visits because they don't shed hair as fast as the person that sheds hair that can't grow their hair down to their shoulders. So as a rule of thumb, people that shed a lot of hair and can't grow their hair long would need to revisit you more rapidly than the person that can grow their hair down to their knees and don't shed much hair. Please take the time to download the PDF on the right hand side of your screen explaining the 3 stages of hair growth.